Try it again.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning, family.
Good morning. Where are we up to?
Lesson 109. Your turn.
Here we go. I rest in God. Is there anywhere else that we can rest? Right? Really? The ego would argue with that, right? I rest not in God, but I rest in
spa day.
The body. I rest in food. I rest in sex. I rest in exercise. I rest in
vacations.
Yes. I rest in romance. I rest in money. You got to laugh, right? Okay. So this lesson is I rest in God. Wow. What the hell does that mean?
Let's unpack it and find out.
Yeah. We ask for rest today and quietness unshaken by the world's appearances. He includes the body in this, the body's appearances as well, right? We ask for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. Oh, he's got clashing dreams in here, sis.
Yeah.
Great.
What do you think he knows about that?
Well, I think he probably knows more than we do. We ask, what did you say?
You said trust the author. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. We ask for safety and for happiness, although we seem to look on danger and on sorrow. And we have the thought that will answer our asking with what we request. I rest in God. This thought will bring to you the rest and quiet, peace and stillness, and the safety and the happiness you seek. I rest in God. This thought has power to wake the sleeping truth in you, whose vision sees beyond appearances to that same truth in everyone and everything there is. Here is the end of suffering for all the world and everyone who ever came and yet will come to linger for a while. Here is the thought in which the Son of God is born again to recognize himself. Something's coming through in my mind. I'll read this next paragraph and then we might unpack it, sis. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
I rest in God completely undismayed. This thought will carry you through. This thought will carry. I've lost myself. Hang on. I rest in God completely undismayed. This thought will carry you through storms and strife, past misery and pain, past loss and death, and onward to the certainty of God. There is no suffering it cannot heal. That's a big statement. Yes. There is no suffering it cannot heal. There is no problem that it cannot solve. And no appearance but will turn to truth before the eyes of you who rest in God. I just want to stop here because what I'm hearing is when we rest in God, we're actually resting in our holiness. They're not separate. Where we are resting in the truth of our being, which is the state or the condition of incorruptible innocence. So, that is the holiness that gives us immunity to everything the ego seems to throw at us, right? So resting in God's peace is that. That's what it is. And what came to me before was that through the ego, when we believe that we are the mythical me, and we're dwelling in the gap and we're trying to negotiate the gap, and we're thinking that that is light. That is life, when it's really living death, right?
Yes.
What we're actually doing is we're trying to see in darkness, and we're trying to achieve peace through getting all of the ego's goals met. Are you with me, sis?
Totally.
Okay. We've all done it.
Mhm.
And we there's this thing that's running through the ego that says, when I attain these goals in the gap, then I will have peace.
Right.
And that is when
Don't
I can
fall for
rest. Don't fall for it.
Please don't waste your time. Don't check the boxes. Don't pass go. Don't collect 200. Turn around. Oh, for the love. Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you feel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh no, forget it. We've tried that and it doesn't work. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, sis. It's like, no, we've laid down all of our defenses. And remember that shield of fear. We actually want fearful images around us so that we can look on what's not there. We can use a private mind to figure out what it is. We can decide whether we assign a value to it. Do we like it? Do we not want it? Do I have to protect myself from it? Do I need to pursue it? You know, and then we employ the best, our best education, and we go out to try and fix or achieve, and then we lament at the end of this mind map, because it's seek and don't find. It's always seek and don't find, and that's this loop that we get stuck in. And this is trying to look into that void that Nouk and I were describing, the darkness. We're looking at what's not there, and we're trying so hard to extricate. Well, the one that's looking is as unreal as what it's looking at. Turning from it, turning away from it, forgiving the mythical me, and resting and saying, I don't know what I am. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's for. I don't know how to go. Holy Spirit, help me. When we become little children with an I don't know anything, I stand in awe and amazement. God, show me. You know, then that's that place of rest. There's no driving, there's no goal, there's no stress. There's just a sense of take over, right? Resting in God. Now, Holy Spirit can work because you're now teachable. You
Beautiful.
finally stayed still.
Yeah, still is the key, sis. That's it. That stillness, we're not trying to earn or qualify for God's love.
No,
We're
we
just,
are God's love.
we are God's love, right? And there's nothing we can do or don't do that can affect that.
Right.
We are God's love. We are his pure, incorruptible innocence. And that is it. And nothing ever changes. And the only time we suffer is when we refuse to be aware of it and receive it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. The greatest obstacle to peace, Jesus explains in chapter 19, is the desire to get rid of it. That's the ego. That's the gap.
Yeah.
All the baubles and bells and whistles and everything in the gap that we chase after.
Right.
Right.
Which always ends in our certain death.
Yeah.
What a deal.
You've got to laugh, right?
Yeah. And how lovely that the answer for us is to rest. We don't have to burn in hell. We don't have to flog ourselves. We get to rest and allow our right mind to return and take up residence and show us how to go, right?
Yeah. Thank you. This is the day of peace. You rest in God, and while the world is torn by winds of hate, your rest remains completely undisturbed. Yours is the rest of truth. Appearances cannot intrude on you. You call to all to join you in your rest, and they will hear and come to you because you rest in God. They will not hear another voice than yours because you gave your voice to God. And now you rest in him and let him speak through you. Wow. I love this. Yes, yes, yes.
Good. Yeah.
What did you say, sis?
That's true. That is how we receive in order to extend truly, to give truly to our brothers so that we get to keep what we have given. It's like allowing, in our state of rest and surrender, we allow, our right mind to be restored, which is informing us in every moment how to either express the love we are or to recognize calls for love. It informs us on how to respond to those calls for love. Not one call is wasted, because as we respond to it, they are blessed. And we also recognize it's confirmed and affirmed for us that we are that love, because we're witnessing the effects of that love that was given to us and extended, right? So they will come because you have it to give, and you can only have it to give in a state of the practice of I don't know mind. It's such an empowering move to come back to your right mind instead of thinking that the mythical me knows something, which will always fail. Thanks. Sorry to interrupt like that.
That's good. It's great. Very helpful. In him you have no cares and no concerns. I love this too.
Oh, feel this, breathe it in. Yes.
So let's not just intellectualize this. Let's actually take a few deep breaths and feel this and be conscious, mindful to actually receive, breathe in what he's saying here. He says this, in him you have no cares and no concerns, no burdens, no anxiety, no pain, no fear. Wow, no fear. No fear of future and no past regrets. Can you feel that?
It's heaven. It's, yeah.
I mean, can we dare to rest in that? Right? That's resting in God. That's a holy instant where we join with God. In timelessness, you rest while time goes by without its touch upon you. Oh, for your rest can never change in any way at all. You rest today, and as you close your eyes, sink into stillness. Let these periods of rest and respite reassure your mind that all its frantic fantasies were but the dreams of fever that has passed away. Let it be still and thankfully accept its healing. No more fearful dreams will come now that you rest in God. Take time today to slip away from dreams and into peace. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Can you just feel again the perfection of God's love for his son?
All he asks is that we rest there.
To accept it.
Yeah. The second line here where he says, in timelessness you rest, yes, while time goes by without its touch upon you.
There's aging.
Aging. For your rest can never change in any way at all. There's the secret to to agelessness.
Yes. Yes.
If we really did rest in him, that's in our innocence. If we rested in as God created us, as spirit, not the body, not the gap and all the trinkets in the gap, but if we rested in that, then time could have no, what's the word for it? It's just the time wouldn't,
subtraction.
Yeah, would have no traction. There would be no aging. There'd be no white hair.
No, it's impossible. You can feel the stress and strain of a mind that thinks it's apart and needs to save itself or do anything independently from God. That thought in itself is aging. Resting is letting Holy Spirit use time for the healing of our mind. And if Holy Spirit's in charge of time, you can't suffer from time. The body's not a figure traveling through a horizontal timeline. You're not going across the timeline. You're here in a place of rest. While
Yeah,
you're resting, things might seem to be going by, but you're not going with it. You're not aging. It's about complete surrender and letting time be an ally and not an adversary. Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, everything in the dream,
Mm.
including time, is neutral.
Yeah.
Everything. All right.
Mm.
So, so you know, Jesus says in the Course that time is not a cause, so it can't have an effect. In other words, it's time is not the cause for aging. Time is not the cause for healing either.
Mhm.
It has no cause, so it's completely neutral.
Mhm.
It's the purpose that we give time is all
There
the
is.
power that time has.
Just like the body.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
exactly.
either using the body and time to attack ourselves
Yeah.
by giving it to the ego,
Mhm.
or we use these neutral ideas of the body and time to the Holy Spirit. And
Yeah,
then we can't be it, then Holy Spirit can't use them to attack, right? It's impossible.
that's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Um, okay, where are we up to? Okay,
7, oh,
each yeah,
8. Yeah.
each hour that you take your rest today, a tired mind is suddenly made glad. A bird with broken wings begins to sing. A stream long dry begins to flow again. The world is born again each time you rest. Wow, that's the total opposite to the ego,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Which damns us to hell because it just keeps telling us that we're not doing enough, right? Okay, so the world is born again each time you rest. And hourly remember that you came to bring the peace of God into the world, that it might take its rest along with you. With each 5 minutes that you rest in God today, the world is nearer waking. And the time when rest will be the only thing there is comes closer to all worn and tired minds, too weary now to go their way alone. And they will hear the bird begin to sing and see the stream begin to flow again, with hope reborn and energy restored to walk with lightened steps along the road that suddenly seems easy as they go. You rest within the peace of God today and call upon your brothers from your rest to draw them to their rest along with you. You will be faithful to your trust today, forgetting no one, bringing everyone into the boundless circle of your peace, the holy sanctuary where you rest. Open the temple doors and let them come from far across the world and near as well. Your distant brothers and your closest friends, bid them all enter here and rest in God with you. You rest within the peace of God today, quiet and unafraid. Each brother comes to take his rest and offer it to you. We rest together here, for thus our rest is made complete, and what we give today we have received already. There's that giving and receiving as one, right?
Yep.
Time is not the guardian of what we give today. We give to those unborn and those passed by, to every thought of God and to the mind in which these thoughts were born and where they rest. Wow. There it is again. These are all, he's saying every time we rest in God,
Mhm.
we can't even imagine the healing effects to the entire sonship. And he's including here all the dimensions of time.
Right.
That's just, it's holographic,
Mhm.
huge.
Yes.
Okay. So, and we remind them of their resting place each time we tell ourselves, I rest in God.
I really
I would
love.
say, I would stay in this lesson for a few days, I think.
Yeah.
What are you saying, sis? So,
I just want that. I love the emphasis in this paragraph 9. You will be faithful to your trust today, forgetting no one, bringing everyone into the boundless circle of your peace, the holy sanctuary where you rest. Let them come from far. He's emphasizing, our peace comes as we include every single brother, right? And as we claim it for ourselves, I rest in God. Notice, because time does not exist, as you give, so you receive. Well, who's the you that's receiving? Well, there's just one of us here. So the giving and receiving is actually simultaneous. So, as you take this moment and you sit and you rest and you affirm, I rest in God, without exception, to extend that to every brother. This is really accepting the atonement, and what he's describing as the result of accepting the atonement. There was another lesson where he says you give 5 minutes, and the one mind is blessed and magnified, and it's, holy. And now he's saying a broken wings, a bird with broken wings begins to sing, a stream long dry begins to flow again, a mind is suddenly made glad. And these are the proofs that we're all going to be looking upon, that gives us the joy and the hope and the motivation for this. Yeah, I'm just really encouraged by everything in this lesson. Beautiful. Thanks, sis. Thanks for that
yeah,
beautiful reading of it.
yeah, thank you. You too. Yeah, it's wonderful to join in this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah,
His perfect love is just constantly dawning, that there's nothing that we need do. We give away nothing in exchange for, everything. No cares, no concerns, burdens, no anxiety, no pain, and no fear of the future, past regrets. That peace of mind state is what we already have. What love is that?
yep, yeah. There is a blog too that
Mhm.
would be very helpful to support this lesson if anybody's interested. It's called Give Peace a Chance. We have mentioned it before,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try and get it into the description box. Yeah,
Thank
below.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks, everybody. Lesson
Thank you, everyone.
109. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see you next time.
yeah. Bye.